Hi there. So I wanted to do a little mini haul of stuff that I bought at Comic-Con. I went over the weekend with my Dungeons and Dragons group. So we just had like a super nerdy outing together, and then we went for drinks after, and it was like a lot of fun. So we all dressed up as our characters. So I'm actually the dungeon master, but I have a character as well because sometimes another person will DM, or be the dungeon master, so I can just be a player and try playing for a while too. So we'll do like mini campaigns, and we have like a main campaign. So anyway, so I went as my character. I wore this shirt. It was kind of like a very hobbity look. My character in Dungeons and Dragons is a dwarf, but it's kind of hard to look like a dwarf when you're not a dwarf, and you can't really change your height. So I think my look ended up coming out more like a hobbit look. I wore this shirt, and I had a belt, and I had boots up to my knees, and a green cape, and it was really cute. So I love how the photos came out for that. The rest of my group dressed up too, so we were just like this nerdy group, and people would stop us and ask us like what we were from. So we had a lot of fun. Saw a lot of really great costumes, and we'll probably go back again next year because we had a good time. So anyway, I picked up a few things while I was there. It's not a major haul, but there's some cool stuff. And I don't know whether to start with the really cool thing or just to start with, yeah, I'm gonna leave that to last. So I have here a bag full of dice because I play Dungeons and Dragons, but you can use these dice as well from Magic the Gathering, which is a nerdy card game. But let me just show you what I got. So first of all, I've got this giant D20, which is a dice that has 20 sides. D stands for dice, and it's like a see-through green with gold numbers. I think this is the best thing, and I wasn't going to get it because it was $18. And I was like, look, you don't need this. A regular dice works fine. Like $18, that seems like a lot. Like maybe if it was 10. But then I went to buy the small dice, and they said, oh, it needs to be over $20 so that we can do a credit transaction. And I was so happy he said that because it gave me an excuse to buy the dice, which I really wanted. And I'm so happy I have it. I think it is so cool, and it makes me so happy. Doesn't the green go with my shirt? Anyway, so I really don't know if it's practical to use because it would just like knock your drinks off the table and everything. So it might just end up being a paperweight, but who knows? We might actually use it in the game. And sometimes we have like a D&D drinking night where we actually like get quite drunk as we play. So it might be good to have a big dice so we can pick it up and find it while we're hammered. That's not every time we play. It's just, you know, a once in a while special occasion thing. But yeah, I wish I remembered the, I got business cards for the two different retailers I bought these from. But I think they're in my fiance's car. So I feel really bad about it. Maybe I'll link them below if I can. But I do remember looking them up, and I think that they are just retailers that show up to conventions. They don't have like an actual online store that they consistently sell out of. So although I'll talk about that later. Anyway, so that's the first one. I'm so happy with it, and it just makes me happy. And I think in life sometimes you need to pay $18 for something that makes you happy. Like, what else are we here for? So what else is there money for other than to make you happy and keep you alive, I guess. So now I have an assortment of small dice, and these were 50 cents each. Oh, I've dropped one. Okay, so here are the dice. I'll show you one by one. There's only one that isn't a D20. When I want like a fancy dice, I always want it to be a D20. It's the attack dice, so it's the one that we use the most often, and we all consistently use that dice. Not that we don't use the other ones, but if I had to have extra of any kind of dice, it would obviously be a D20. So this is the one that isn't a D20, it's a D10. And it's kind of like black and purple, like spotted, with light blue writing. So that's the first one, that's a D10. And then I've got this one, which is like a steel granite. No, it's like a granite with yellow. And then I've got this one, which is a two-tone blue and light blue with white writing. These feel very sturdy, by the way. Like they feel like just like good quality dice. You know, sometimes you see D&D dice and you pick it up and you're like, this has got no weight to it. It doesn't feel like it's gonna be a good dice, but these feel like good quality. I've got this one, which is like a black and pink. This one, which is like a forest green with white. I really like, I'm really into green these days. It's my color this year. I just need green. Look how well these two go together. Oh, I really want a whole set of dark green dice now. Oh, that's right. Sorry, there was one that wasn't a D20. I'm always getting these confused with D20s because they look quite similar together. This one's a D12. And it's green as well, with gold this time. As you can see, when they're in a handful, you can't really tell them apart. It's only when you pick it up. So many times in D&D, someone's rolled a D12 and instead of a D20, and I've had to tell them like, no, your roll wasn't that bad. You just need to, you're using the wrong dice. So this one I actually bought two of, and I gave one to my other friend who sometimes DMs. It's a purple, dark purple with black dots and gold writing. This one's very like wizardy, like for the wizard in your group kind of thing. And then this is my favorite one. And I wish I had bought a whole set of these, but I'm starting to get out of hand. You know, I'm just gonna have like giant tubs of dice if I keep this up. But this one is red glitter with gold writing. And I just love the way this looks when it's rolling. Ah, this is a beautiful dice. It was very fun to pick these out because when I went there, the vendor had a giant bathtub size, just white acrylic box filled to the top with dice, and all the dice inside were 50 cents. So all of my friends and I just went through and dug out and found our favorites and put them in the bag, and then I bought them all. So this is it. This is what I got. So altogether there's 2, 4, 6, 8 dice and one giant dice. And I'm just super happy to use these tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first D&D night since I bought them. So I'm going to break them out and we're going to have a lot of fun. So this is the exciting thing, and I might have to stand up to show you this, but it's a sword. We bought a sword. No, I can just lean back. Okay. My fiance, he's like a blood knight. So he was dressed up as a knight, and he saw all the swords at Comiccon. Oh, this is Comiccon Ottawa, by the way. I don't know if I said that before, because there's different sizes of Comiccons. And anyway, so there was a ton of swords. There always are. And usually I just kind of walk by them because I think that they're too expensive and like, what am I going to do with a sword anyway and stuff like that. Although I do like to admire them sometimes. Sorry. Anyway, my fiance, he saw all the swords, and because he was dressed up as a knight, I think he was just in the right vibe and he just had to have one. And I told him, like, look, if you can find one that's less than $100, I'll consider it. So he did. He found this one, and this was $90. So he got really close. It was $90. It's a short Claymore. At least that's what they told us. I think short Claymore, small Claymore, either way. Claymore, little one. And it is a beautiful sword. It came with this. So this is the scabbard. It's nothing special. It's just like a foam. Yeah, it's just foam. It's not even like leather or anything. It's just a foam scabbard. I'm sure that they put them on all the swords. And it has like a little like handle. Not that you would use it because the weight is awkward at this part of the sword. But look at this beautiful hilt. It's very, very cool. It's like wooden carved. And it's like almost like a blue tint to it. And then it's got these little, I want to say clovers, but I'm not sure that's right, on the sides. And the top is just like this. And then here's the sword. Sorry, that's just my dog, if you could hear that. So it's quite dull, which I was really surprised that they just let you walk away with it. I figured that if you bought a sword at Comic-Con, that they'd give you a ticket and you had to go pick it up later or something. But no, like he just bought it and they allowed him to walk around the convention with it, which I thought was actually quite like unsafe, you know, like not just because you have a sword, like you might hurt yourself, but like, you know, like what if I was there to hurt somebody? I don't know. I felt very uncomfortable about that aspect, especially since they had a weapons check and they made you check all of your fake weapons and get like a little sticker, or it was actually a twist tie or something like that. And zip tie, there we go. It was an orange zip tie that they were putting on your fake weapons. And then they just let you buy weapons inside. So anyway, I thought that was a bit odd, but it is quite dull. So maybe that's why, but I don't know. I feel weird about it. Anyway, here's what it looks like. So if we were going to use it to stab things, we would need to sharpen it. My fiance is in the process of getting some, like he's making some like hooks to hang it onto the wall. And I think we're gonna have it just unsheathed like this above our TV. So I love it. We immediately after we bought it and we got home from Comic-Con, we took some fun photos like swinging it around and stuff like that. And actually my fiance the other day, I told him to take out the recycling and he stabbed it with the sword and like brought it over to the bin. So we're having fun with it. $90, like I feel like it could be worse. Honestly, I thought that swords started at $300, but it turns out no, there were quite a few that were on the cheaper side of things. So if you were considering a sword, I'll have to find the name of the people and put it in the description box because they were really cool. It's I think a couple. It was a girl and a guy on the business card, and they were called like some sort of Ottawa Armoring Guild or something. So that's the other thing we bought, and that's actually it. We didn't go too crazy, but you know, things considered, we did spend over $100. So I'm glad that we didn't buy more, but there was so many cool vendors and so many cool things that we could have bought. So yeah, I recommend going to Comic-Con, and that's it for today. Please subscribe. Bye.